the walls are walks the line. There's a rare few who think outside the box together for the crew. To break the equations, not bound to any rule. Exposing to the world the universe is all view. It takes the talent of the craftsman, it takes the mind of the fool, to make the vision realize energy and matter in a duel. To a break, to a duel. The old man Bills was running through his head. Cheryl probably got it hiding under his bed. Penny up the ante, making power for days. Don't listen to a word that the straight no says. Mike building batteries that power a ship. Victor comes and talking math as the water spiral dip. Sean trucking plasma volts a mile long. Sheila on the video making tone trumpet prongs. Bernie breaking matter, they said it couldn't be done. And to all the people in the chat, I know you're having fun. So it's time to spend your Saturday with the dope and old man Bills.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Nathan, otherwise known as Old Man Bills. What's going on? What's up, Joe?
Hey, it's Joe here, Faceless Joe.
Joe's driving home from the mine right now, guys. Out there digging for quartz.
Yeah, I got some nice stuff today, too. Really, really beautiful, like double terminated, water clear, but nothing crazy big like last time, you know, like a little more modest this time around. But it was a fun day.
Very cool. All right. Hey, guys, I want to, real quick while we get started, I want to shout out Dispatch, man. My cat got out this morning and he helped let me get through his yard and everything to go get it. So I appreciate that. Just want to shout out Dispatch, man. Thank you.
Right on. He's always so helpful.
Yes, very good person. All right, let's take a look. Show this to everybody. This is the cell Bernie and I are working on right here. And it's a simple battery. You can see we have it charging here. So the reason it's purple is because they're blood oranges in there. That was the orange tree that I had in the backyard. So I had to squeeze all these things, man, by hand and get them in there. And we removed all the pulp from them. So, or most of it, I should say. And it actually started to charge. So we had the charger on all night. We got 2 volts out of it. And we got to do another cycle on it. And I just want to point out this. If you look in between the little slots there, you're going to see crystal formations. So here, I'll zoom that in. So everybody can see it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, you see it on top and bottom, man.
Nice.
So Bernie says they form naturally in electrolysis, which makes a lot of sense, being the fact that we're doing a battery, which is basically just electrolysis in itself as part of the overall how a battery works. I will say this though. We were looking at it and we both decided that the space in between needs to be smaller and that we need a dielectric in between them. So some kind of cloth or something like that could be soaked in there that can transfer energy more efficiently. Because right now in there it goes, what did we use in this? We used copper and zinc as the plates. They go in this. So it's every other one is copper, every other one is zinc. They go in there. So the materials are right. It's just the distance is wrong.
Sounds like a battery to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you never built one, I mean, you want to start out and you want to see the reactions in it. I will say this. It may not be as much voltage as we want, but the reactions are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to see this thing bubble over, and Bernie says we need to put some holes in the top so that it can vent out any hydrogen from it. But you saw the pressure go on inside of the cell itself. So it would bubble over the top, spill over, you know what I mean? Do the normal things a battery would normally do if it wasn't all sealed up.
It's really interesting to think, how chemistry and physics overlaps like that. It's something we were kind of touching on last week a little bit. right? It's you have an acid, and when you bring it into conjunction with the two different metals, you get a charge,
Yeah.
and it it's because it all works on the same principles. And um, when you're looking at how like the acids are formed, what the chemical composition of it is, you start to
Hmm.
realize quickly that those acids are all going to fall into a certain bracket when it comes to their frequency and resonance. That's
Yeah.
what you're going to see. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was excited to see the crystal because normally you have stuff in there dividing it, right? So you don't normally see that in a reaction like this or in a battery period because it's never clear like the shell that we use here. But you could see this reaction, the crystal growing in there. So I was excited about that. I wish it was getting up more power. I need 10 volts out of this thing. So they're 5 millimeters apart in case people are wondering the spacing. And Mike was telling us like a half millimeter to 1 millimeter apart with the dielectric in between them would be a lot better.
Cool. Oh, sounds like it's a 3D print away.
Well, something like that. We the way it's set up, you can slide them in. So if we found the cloth that we wanted, right, and then we 3D printed a couple more plates to go in there, and then put the metal in. Yeah, you're right. Slide them in between them. Probably two more for each division would probably amplify the energy in this thing pretty good.
All right, that's very cool.
So yeah, just order another set of plates, from Amazon, and we'll get them in there and put them in. So yeah, the if I'm not mistaken, the copper is all positive, and then the zinc is a negative as it runs through the entire thing. So yeah, it goes, John. Uh, one copper, then one zinc, then one copper, one zinc. All the copper are connected together. All the zinc are connected together, and then each one has its own wire. So, and that I'll show you. I'll zoom out of this just a little bit. It comes right out the top. We put these little knobs on it here on each side. And the cool thing is I never realized this about the batteries, and I learned this when we were looking at the saltwater batteries. Was that you have to charge these things and then discharge them and then charge them up again, so that they get a memory going in them.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like lead acid batteries work that way to a certain extent too.
Oh yeah, they
Like
do.
you have to like have it hold that charge, and then you got to keep on charging.
Yeah, so yeah, the lead acid works exactly the same way. You know what I mean? When you first refresh your battery. So say for instance you get an old diesel battery and you want to clean it out, you take the acid out, then you get, if I'm not mistaken, baking soda solution. You put it in there and then you shake it around so it dissolves some of the stuff on the plates. You let it get a reaction to it. Then you rinse it out again, make sure it's good to go, and then you put the new acid solution in there, and it should refresh your battery to the point where it's usable again or usable on a Bedini circuit again. I have my old truck battery sitting outside that we're going to do that with, and I'm looking at picking up. There's four batteries, too good, too bad, from buses, and they're quite large. So high amount of amp hours to them and heavy cranking. So that should be able to get us on our Bedini a lot further, as far as if you wanted to create a storage station for energy and charge more batteries than the original one you have. It's going to be a huge multiplier over time. And one of the reasons we do the battery here is we want to see the dielectric in it. Now, this is 2 amp charge that we're putting into this one. I'm going to hook up my Tesla coil one wire down the center to this and run it in line. So it would be the positive line that's broken with this battery. And I bet you it's going to be a lot different because it's high frequency, low amp, where this is general battery formation. But the distance is better off for a Tesla coil than necessarily this would be. So it may turn out that it's a better solution for that setup, the distance, than it is for a conventional battery.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, John says, now you're getting into my territory. That's right. John's working on some crystal cells. So,
Ah, nice.
yeah. But I think it's kind of interesting. It all kind of falls in line, like I said, with the Bedini we're working on, with Mike's pulse motor that we're working on. And then we have the cell here that, you know what I mean, we're doing in conjunction with it. But it should also have a good setup if we cleared this and then we connected it to the Bedini. I want to see if the crystals come back. What's up, Mike, up there, Faraday?
They probably should come. Like, why wouldn't they? Well, they should.
Well, this is conventional charging, and then the Bedini is a high voltage spike. So it may come across more like a Tesla coil, maybe a slow reaction Tesla coil, versus a steady voltage like this has in it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I see what you're saying there. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things, man. You got to test and see how it works. So,
Sweet.
Yeah, it was
so
pretty
when did
cool,
Bernie
man.
get back?
Oh, he just got back the night or so.
Oh, nice.
Just kind of, yeah, getting back into the groove of things, man.
Sweet.
So,
I don't even think he's Canadian anymore.
No, I think he's going to have to give that up. Yeah, what was it? Beginning of the year, he came down to California. So, yeah, I think he spent more time in the States than he has in Canada so far.
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
it. Yeah, he's going to need a visa, or else ICE is going to come after him.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Bernie, but that would be hilarious, man. ICE coming after Bernie.
They'd be like, we caught the mad scientist, and he has all these unusual substances. Nobody knows what they are, and we try to put it under a mass spectrometer. We don't know, it's unidentifiable. He's Russian. He's a Russian spy.
That's so great. He was found with Bert and Ernie with him. Oh, that's hilarious. Freaking ICE, man. Oh.
He's gonna have to like kidnap somebody to like steal their identity. and they're gonna be like, Julio Juarez. And just be like, see.
Oh man. But one of his shorts, man, turned him into a Mexican guy. And the rest don't make him Canadian at all. They make him look American.
Right.
The AI is so funny, man, when it does that.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So this is our, I should say, second attempt. So the first one we did was potato power, and we hooked copper and zinc in that one, and we cut potatoes in half, and I think we got like 7 potatoes all together, so it was 14 different pieces, and then it actually gave us a good voltage, so it was like up to 18 volts. The amps were like 1 or 2, but it had no field for pushback in it. So it immediately, as soon as you put a load on it, the voltage and amperage went away. So, yeah, this one I'm hoping when we put a load on it, it'll last a little longer. We could charge it, do it again. I think about 3 times should give us a significant amount of understanding of what the heck we're doing here. You know what I mean? On this one before we move on to something, to try another part to it. Let's see. Mike says grapefruit seed extract makes a
I
great
I
battery
think
acid.
to get the
You're breaking up there, Joe.
can you hear me?
Yeah, now you can.
Oh, okay. I really think that you need the RAV power. I think that's what we need.
Well, we got a separate project for the RAV power. So
Yeah,
uh, I have
that's the
uh,
one.
I have some cylinders basically for it, and we're doing a double RAV, and I'm pulling out a coil to it. So that one's still in CAD right now. I'm not finished with it. And as soon as I am, man, we could fire up the double RAV and watch it go back and forth and see if we can't pull it out of the slosh between them, the energy out of the coil. And we'll match it with another coil like a Don Smith and in just the same exact frequency to it and see if we can't yank it out of there. But then we'll cross it between each other so we can get high voltage, high amperage out of it. And throw a little Floyd Sweet in there. See if we can't get this thing to pull us a little bit more energy than what we put in.
I think that would be cool, or even just like show some kind of efficiency. Um, I really do think that overall, once it's going, it reduces the resistance in the system. So you should realistically see, an efficiency increase right off the bat. Whether or not you get more power than you put in, I think that that's yet to be seen. But I think that a large efficiency increase is probable right off, just right out of the gate.
Well, yeah, 80-90% is what I would imagine it might be,
I would think, yeah.
as long as we cap it correctly. And that's kind of, again, we'll go back to the cell. In researching this stuff, man, you got to find out exactly which cell you want to use. You know what I mean? So, do you want to use a conventional battery? How do you want to hook it up? Do you want it inline? Do you want it conventionally? I like the inline stuff, man, because it runs through there and it starts tearing through everything on the cell. So I bet you, like this one here, if I hook the RAV up to one side and put it through there, it'll probably destroy all the crystal in there and make it more like a capacitor.
Now, what I'd be interested to know on that is, in order for it to achieve the maximum efficiency, it would need to be able to force the battery into resonance too, a harmonic resonance, but resonance nonetheless.
Well, see, that's the thing. If you use, instead of say an AC flyback, you use like a bipolar Tesla coil, and you set it up where it's just a Slayer exciter, you know what I mean, without a whole lot of chokes or anything to it. It'll take the whole circuit and form it into an oscillation between the entire thing.
Yep,
That's what we need. We need something that's self-correcting, because if not, it'll be too much trying to get everything right. It's easier to have it
exactly.
self-correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the battery still, and I don't know what it means exactly what I'm saying, but it makes sense to me. I mean, the battery still probably needs to. Wow, I just saw a bald eagle land in a tree. Cool. Anyway, that's my ADD really bad. Um, what do you call it? Yeah, you probably need the battery geometries, to coincide with the, um, the geometry and the proportions of the materials and such to coincide somewhat with the configuration of the RAV setup in order for it to hit that harmonic, or else, because you could try to force it, but if it's not, um, you know, built within those sort of threshold tolerances, then it may have a hard time actually achieving it. So it's
So
just food for thought.
it kind of goes back to Tesla. It's a accumulation of mass. So how much copper, how much zinc do you have in each one, right? What's the total weight of each one versus the weight of the coil? Run it once, see if they match the numbers on the RAV at all. You know what I mean? See where that point is, and see what the ohms are and everything, I think that'd give you a pretty good picture of where you needed to go.
Yep, I tend to agree, and I definitely think it's a factor, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It would be
Well,
nice just to be able to throw everything into harmonic resonance without thinking about it, but I don't know that it's that easy.
oh wow, here you go. Look. So John and Darren are talking back and forth in the chat here, Joe. And Darren, excuse me, John was saying the crystals are from the sugar in the orange juice. So just so everybody knows, in case you tuned in late, it's blood oranges that are in there. So it's basically orange juice, tastes just like orange juice. And then Darren said, wow, I didn't realize the sugar was the piezo. So creating the crystal in there.
That's interesting. I mean, I never thought about that. If you would have asked me without having that answer up front, I probably would have thought that it's the citric acid, because citric acid does crystallize as well.
Hmm. Yeah, because you get some crystal and lead acid batteries, don't you? You get a little extra in there than you're thinking you do.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What I like about this too is it's kind of like electrolysis in a way, Joe, when you look at this thing, because we're taking two different materials, and as you sandwich them together in a low voltage environment, you get electrolysis.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
That's pretty nifty. So, speaking of which, remember how I tell you all the time how, like, if you rub two rocks together, right, how it over time it starts to get like this weird kind of force between them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually, for the first time, ended up stumbling on something that not only shows it, but like describes it. And it's because anytime that you cut a piece of crystal, you end up with a charge bias.
Okay.
So there's going to be charge biases. So two, like one has a positive, for instance, right?
Joe's now in his alien voice. Yeah, I think you're right, John. We're missing pressure.
If it's opposite, then more attractive effect.
All right, we'll get with Joe when he gets back. His phone's dying out on him.
My bad. Yep, I'll link back up in like 10-15 minutes. I'm almost done.
Okay. Cool, Joe. I'll see you then.
All right, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Bye.
All right, later. Yeah, so we got this going on, and let me take this down here. I wanted to show you something as well. Man, we got a lot of stuff working behind the scenes here on it. I got this, which is really cool. So I got my convex mirror in. And it doesn't look shiny right now because I didn't peel the plastic off the front of it because I need to design the back apparatus for it, or however you want to say, the mounting structure for it. And this is so we can see all the gases and everything that's in our environment, say around our Tesla coil, around the Gravity Flyer, around the RAV, all the experiments we do around batteries and stuff like that. So for those of you who don't know the experiment, it's basically you take a little LED light, and it goes over there and sets it right to the camera. It goes through the mirror, sets it back onto the camera. You put a razor blade in front of the camera so it cuts it. You can use filters in there, a green one and a red one if you want. That'll be able to tell you the different colors in the gases themselves, you know what I mean, on which one has the pressure on which side. And what it basically does is it shows you things that look invisible to you. So if I had a canister full of gas and it was in a clear beaker, but it looked like there was nothing there, and then you basically pour it, it'll look like it's pouring out of the beaker and into whatever you're putting it into. So it also shows the pressure in the air environment itself. So what we're looking for is a pressure difference when we're making a field around something, right? It's because we know we're interacting with the air, and if you're dealing with a Tesla coil, you have capacitance build up in the air. So you're going to be able to see a field in it. So this thing right here is going to give us the ability to see that once and for all. And we're going to tell you exactly where the fields are and what they're doing. And God willing, it'll show us the details really well. But it's real shiny, actually, when you get into it. That, you know, I mean, I just didn't peel it off yet. It is 17.5 inches in diameter. So the gravity flyer itself is 16 and a half, just barely a little bit bigger than the gravity flyer itself. But with the distances in between and stuff like that, it should be able to work out to give us a good picture of what we're looking at. And if we think it's just the center plate that's going to have all the energy into it as the two, you know, top and bottom plate that are rotating in the capacitance to the center plate, it's going to tell us exactly where that field is, where the pressure is. The cool thing about it is you're going to be able to see the piezo working. So you're also going to see the pressure zones inside the piezo itself. So as it comes down and hits the plate, which one is it interacting with? Which one puts off the higher sound value when it gets to interacting with it? What's the interaction points themselves? And it's going to have to do with the pressure in the air of the Tesla coil and the high voltage versus the pressure itself of the piezo itself. So does it hit on only one of the layers or does it hit on both? That's going to be interesting as well. So it's going to give us a ton of information out of this. It's going to tell us when we put a rod down the center of our Tesla coil, what does it look like in an open air environment? If we put it to one side and the other of an orange and split the orange and see the dielectric inside, what does that look like? You know what I mean? Is it pull right to each other? Does it go in and around? Anything like that, it's going to give us data on it like completely. So I'm excited for this, man. It's one of the things I needed for a long, long time, and we finally got it going. I have a good enough camera, and I got the disc. It was only $120 on eBay for this thing, and so that should work out. I got to build my own frame for it, put it on my own stand. So I got a bit of a bigger printer. You see it behind you right there. I got a 400 by 400 Anycubic printer to be able to build some big things on it for stands and stuff just for this. So we'll put a little locking thing on the back. We'll just basically use a clamp that goes on for a monitor on the back. That should make it pretty easy and universal for anybody that buys one of these. You'll be able to set it up. We'll show the setup on it. And then we'll show it working, and I'll get the two different colors. We'll get the green, yellow, and the red spectrum, and we're going to see, you know what I mean, as we go through it, what it looks like. I think, you know, I think we're going to get a lot out of this, guys. I think this one's going to be cool. So I'll take that one down, and I got another one to show you. Yeah, I got a couple of cool things that came in too. This one right here. Shout out Lightspeed, man. Richard out there, man. Take a look. This is the device he's sending for everything. This is for every project we have to see every little detail. Now, guys, there's gas sensors in this. There are photo sensors in this. There's cameras in there. There's infrared in there. Basically, top of the line, anything you can think of, sound measurements in there, anything whatsoever, it's in there. Trust me, he did a lot, man. A lot of different sensor arrays that go on in this. This is basically to show everything. So he is a very smart individual as well. Let me just tell you that. He wrote a program. He designs programs for a living. He wrote a program for this to put it all on our computer. So every bit of this information goes right out to the computer. So we're going to be reading real time what it's doing. As we change the different interactions and everything, we're going to be able to see this, you know what I mean, right up front and personal. And dude, it's going to be totally epic for every single project we work on. And, once we get this up and running, man, he's willing to put it out there for everybody else. You know what I mean? If they wanted to build it, if they wanted to get the program, if they want to get them to maintenance the program, whatever, that may look like in the future, he's willing to do all that so everybody can enjoy the same thing that we're doing. And by all means, you can pick the sensors that you want for your particular project, stuff like that. But the program would show everything as you add more things into it. I actually had to buy 2 USB cards for my computer just to run this thing. But there's no more games to it, no guessing, no wrong words. It's the voltage, the amperage, you know what I mean? The frequency, everything's out. If it's in resonance with it, your oscilloscope's connected to it, everything. I mean, literally everything. And it's all real time. So we take that, we take the mirror. Now we have like a professional setup. This is what I'm going to do when we get to Tesla Tech. My whole presentation is going to be based on what the data we should collect here in the next few months. And it's going to be coupling, energy coupling. How do we get energy to couple inside of resonance, inside of spheres? And how do we create that bubble that we're all looking for when it comes to a warp drive or it comes to anti-gravity or things like that? How do we create that bubble? Well, I'm going to give you every bit of information to do it. That's going to be the presentation for Tesla Tech. So all this becomes very, very important in what we're doing. It also tells you in that mirror, what is it? Something pressure, the pressure zones that are going on in the air around you, which is so valuable if you consider we're in gas and you want to say we're structuring in gas and putting it out in resonance frequencies. Well, we're not just going to be able to say it, we're going to be able to show it. The cool part about this program, man, and I got to get with him and just double check because we're going to be able to build a second one off of it that shows you everything in 3D as it animates. So you get the real-time look at it. You get the animation of where the energy flows at based on where it shows up in the sensor. And you get the absolute numbers on everything. So it all can be recorded and documented. So, yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're definitely getting there. He's got it all built. It's ready to go. He was doing the fine-tuning debugging on the program. So this is a game changer for everybody. This is next level. And then, look, we're going to be able to tell you what the BDD does. We're going to be able to tell you, what Mike's pulse motor does. We're going to be able to tell you what the battery does. You know what I mean? If there's a field from it, we're going to be able to tell you what it is. The voltage, amperage drops, how we tune things, why we tune them a certain way. You know what I mean? So you put technique that you're used to doing into practice with actual numbers and see what they are. You know what I mean? Does it need to be this number here like conventional says, or does it need to be something else? That's what I'm getting to, man. So this is next level, man. So shout out Lightspeed, man. Thank you very much, Richard. This is amazing. So he said within the next week or two I should have it. We were going to set up this last week, but he wasn't able to fine tune the program all the way yet. So I just wanted to show you that one. So we got plenty we're going into this next thing with. Also, one of the things that Dispatch asked for, and I'm going to grant him what he asked me to put my gravity flyer on a scale. Okay? Flat out, what does it do, Nathan? Does it show that it has inertial mass reduction or not? And we're going to find out. You know what I mean? Because you never know what's going on if you put a field around it. Did it remove the weight or not? And he asked me to do it. So what I did was I went out and I got a fruit measuring scale. Not the one that hangs, but the one that, like old school mechanical. You just set your stuff on it and it presses down. And I got that because I didn't want a digital mistake. I didn't want something to hit the high voltage and then, mess up a computer and have a mistake on it. I want it to be based on the weight of the item itself. So we got old school mechanical with springs, no getting around it. Got Dispatch what he asked for. And we're going to be putting that here on the scale here pretty quick. So You're going to get all of it, guys, all the information. Did we do it? Did we not do it? Did we hit something we were supposed to hit? Did we not hit it? I mean, does it work at all? All those questions are going to be answered here relatively quickly. Once we align the field, does it start to stand up on one leg? Does it start to do something else? We're also going to go old school and look at Faraday. So we're going to take our rod and we're going to put the ball at the end of it, and we're going to do it in, oh God, I can't remember the metal he's using, brass. We're going to do it in brass. And what we're going to do is we're going to show the fields of that, right? So as it's 360-degree sphere, what can we see that he didn't see? Because you got to remember, they based all the math based on Faraday's work. So if we do that, what was there missing in it? What did we not know? You know what I mean? It is I personally think there's radiation coming off it right away. I think there's entropy coming off of it based on the heat and cold of it. I think both those things are present as soon as he starts the energy around it. Does it rotate? Does it not rotate? Is physics correct in what they're saying? It's a validation if it is. If it's not, it's a correction. It's whatever, the thing says it is. I'm not going to try to manipulate it. Matter of fact, I'll probably run it in several different variations so that everybody can see it. Joe, you made it home.
Here I am. Oh man, I am beat. Woo! That's hard work, man. I would say.
Out there working hard, brothers. Getting all that cool stuff.
Yeah, I got the quartz that I got today sitting in a cup of cleaner right now, so we could do a. I haven't even really looked at them yet. I know I got one really really cool one for what it's worth. That's what I know.
Yeah. All right, Joe. I'm going to share my screen again. Show something else.
I'm right here. I'm just grabbing another cup.
So I also upgraded another printer in my garage. As you all know, I run 2 CR10s for my printers. I upgraded with the Anycubic Max in order to get the 400 by 400 bed so we could build bigger projects. But then I got this one here, and it's the Anycubic Cobra X. And basically it's multicolor system. So we'll be able to throw on several different colors at once. And then it'll just automatically do it for us, self-leveling on the bed, everything you could think of, man. It's got a lot of good reviews on this thing, man. So I'm looking at it for when we do coils and stuff and we want to put old man builds on there, we could do it a different color lettering. I really like the way that turns out when I do it. So this is an upgrade to our stuff as well. So
that's awesome. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, Joe, it runs faster at a 0.04 nozzle. So what that basically means is it'll be more precise than my other printer. And it'll basically, when we do geometry coils, I won't have to spend as much time cleaning out the stuff in between. I can get to winding right away. So
yeah, less time wasted. That's the best bet.
Yeah. So, dude, I think that's going to be a game changer for us there.
Definitely.
Man, I got another one. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, cool deal. This is Sean's, okay? So I'm just going to set this up. Sean has bismuth at the bottom. And basically what he did is he took some clay and he took his Dremel and he drilled it out. And he made this little form at the bottom. So it has a little flat coin type piece at the bottom with a little spike coming up from it. And because bismuth has such a low heating, thing, it's much lower. I think it's lower than boiling water is what Sean was saying. And then he was able to make, if I'm not mistaken, I can see it right there, the bismuth on the anode as well. I could see the round ball at the end that he stuck on there. And he's trying to get everything in the cylinder. So just understand this. We wanted to do a Tesla coil round one inside of another round Tesla coil. But that means that the inner part of the Tesla coil, the inner one, has to be able to have a RAV in the center of it in order to discharge the energy that it gets, so that it's able to use it. Otherwise, it's a nightmare trying to bring that to the outside of the coil for a discharge, right? In case it sparks or anything, you get too high of an energy. So Sean's working on this in order to get us that. So if we could pull that out, then I can finish my double Tesla coil in counter windings, and then we really have something, because then it'll have an outside ring to it, just like a planet Saturn. You know what I mean? And it'll be cool as heck, man. And it should put out, because we're crossing the windings like Floyd Sweet, we should be able to pull out a high voltage, high amperage charge from it, which is a game changer completely, but it requires this to be in the center. So I'll go ahead and play the video real quick. But it just looks cool, dude. It looks like an evil lab experiment, doesn't it?
It does. It looks like mad scientist all day.
So cool what he does, man. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's very cool.
So I can't really zoom in on this, but I just wanted to make everybody look. Right now, going right through the center of it, it looks like a laser. It shoots straight in one beam, and it'll fly right to the center. Hold on. Oh, that's awesome looking.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. What a way to, there's the RAV in there now.
Yeah, that is cool. It's weird how it goes. Look at the light pulsing in the background. That's your beat frequency right there.
Oh, yeah. You get different colors off it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so see if I can't get the shot. Oh, there it almost is. Oh, come on, Nathan. Right there. You can see it right dead down the center, one beam of light. So we'll have to get that thing cut, man, and bring you a picture of it. But that's pretty awesome. Kind of unique to the first time I've seen it in there. But I look at plasma all the time.
I mean, that is pretty cool. I guess there's just so much coherence that it's just, transferring point A to point B. It's very cool.
Well, yeah, there's pressure on it. People don't realize this. As soon as you put it in the tube and you start putting energy in it, even though the top and bottom's open, you're getting pressure in it, because the tube itself resonates at a certain frequency. So it sets the outer diameter as soon as you go in there and you put any kind of spark. You could basically take the part from your toaster, put it inside of a tube, turn it on, and you can get resonance out of that tube.
Yeah.
You could take a second one and put it 90 degrees to it at a different size, and you can find the point which you can get a beat frequencies between the two of them inside those two tubes if you wanted to. I don't think most people understand that about resonance. It's not just in electrical, it's in, cylinders and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you take it up as sound most of the time is the way you think about it, but there's resonance in it. And that's, some of those tubes they have, what is it, Australia? You know what I mean? And
a didgeridoo.
yeah, and some of the Indian reservation things, man, they put a resonance in there. And then, yeah, it's just pretty cool technology, man. So this one's awesome, man. I'll play it again for everybody so you can see it.
Yeah, that is cool. It really is. Stuff like that, you can look at it all day because it's just like, it's interesting. And you'll if you slow it down and you take the time to actually dissect what's going on, you'll find new things every single time you watch it. It's very cool.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, dude, I'd like a set of those in like 3 feet tube. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right. It would make a cool room display or desk display or something.
oh yeah, just right behind me every time that I come on air. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I don't think the room would survive, but it'd be awesome for the short few minutes it
The
did.
room would not survive. That's funny.
Oh man. Yeah, I love plasma, man. Yeah, but we got some pretty cool stuff. For those of you who were watching the other channel, by the way, I'm going to get back on that. I have right now all the videos set to release on how I built the Bedini machine behind me and all the correct schematics and everything. So that video is going to go out here pretty quick here. We're doing Project Rab. We have another video coming for that. That's going to take us about another week. The reason everything's getting delayed, guys, just so you know, I had some trouble, you know what I mean, in what I was doing. My body was swelling and stuff like that. So I think I've got it figured out now. I went on a crazy thing, man. Like after I did my shows on Friday, I had already lost about 15 pounds. Okay.
Crazy.
And within a couple days, I lost another 12 pounds. Okay. My body was rejecting what I was doing, and it pulled all of the sodium out of my system. So my body went into like complete shock and awe, you know what I mean, of what's going on. There's no salt in my system, so my muscles themselves feel like they were deteriorating, like massive dehydration. And what happened was my neck got stiff. So I basically had a stiff neck to the point where you couldn't lay your head down on a pillow. You couldn't move without it hurting. Everything was the worst thing in the world. You were begging for death when you woke up. It was that bad, dude. And I just barely got through it. Today I still have pains in my neck and stuff. I took a lot of Gatorade to rehydrate. I found out the extra virgin olive oil, as much as it does great for most people, absolutely rejects it in my system for right now.
Really?
Yeah, and I
That's
think
unusual.
it is unusual, but then again, you got to remember I'm spiking uric acid through the roof, so
Yeah.
it might be an interaction there that I'm not realizing that may calm down later, but right now it's a really bad thing. So
Yeah,
anyway,
man, it's deteriorating. It's bad.
dude, that's what it felt
You're
like.
an old man or something.
Dude, I felt like I was knocking on death's door. Is
Crazy.
the way it felt this last week, dude. I didn't think I was going to make it today.
Well, I
You know what
told
I
you,
mean?
I told you I was worried about you for a minute because I mean, I usually hear from you at some point during the week. I sent you a couple of messages and really did, and didn't see you on or nothing. And I was like, oh man, I hope he's okay because I knew you had this going on, but I didn't know how bad it was or what.
Yeah. Well, I finally got it corrected, man. I think I did anyway. So I just have to watch what I eat. You know what I mean? Throw out a lot of
Yeah.
this stuff, you know what I mean? Which I was correcting already, but you know how you overcorrect when you first start? You
Yeah,
get all these big plans and you decide to do something without realizing what your body's going to do in return.
yeah, you're going fast, and I know you. You jump right into like full blown fasting, starvation. You don't care, just do it. And sometimes that's good, but I mean that might not always be what you need.
No, well, sometimes it it does what you want it to do faster than you think it's going to do. Like you say, I want a kidney flush. Well, what happens when you flush your kidneys? It ain't always sunshines and rainbows. We know when you do it, you're going to get all the bad stuff that has to go through the rest of your system. You get out. So you got to remember stuff like that. You know what I mean? You got a fatty liver. Is it dissolving overnight? Are you going to get side effects when it comes out? So yeah, it's kind of the stuff that I get used to, man. So it's all good, man. I kind of find out, what's working, what's not working right now. Stay away from a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? No more processed food. So
Hey, you'll be back on the
it's
upswing, and that's that. It'll just take some time and
yeah.
suffering. Time and
So,
suffering.
well, I guess I got to look at it two ways, Joe. Before I started, my legs were swollen and my hand was swollen and I couldn't do anything. I'm at a point right now where my hand's normal, my legs are getting normal, and you know what I mean? I can do things. So I told my wife, I said, look, I'm not going to look at the dieting aspect of it. I'm simply going to look at this. As long as my body's not swollen, as long as I can move around and I could do the mile of walking, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll kind of curve around the rest a little bit until I can get it, where I want it. But anyway, that was it, guys. That's kind of why I just wanted to let you guys know that's why we're delayed. And some of this stuff has nothing to do with Joe or anyone else. It's all my fault.
Oh, you're gonna
So
blame me. It's fine. I'm used to it.
No, we're good, man. It's me. So yeah, that was it. So we're getting back to going to work and doing stuff now. Um, because we got that mirror, I have to get a setup on that Rav, Joe.
Hmm.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'll put you on the full screen. Let me say this real quick. I need to get a setup on the Rav where I can put it in front of that mirror so it's not something I take down all the time because I flip things in and out. So I got to get like a cutting board or something, put it all to it, and just have it where I can move it in front of the mirror there and really get a good look at it.
Right on.
Very nice. Well, it's not so cool that you can't walk. Hopefully that gets better one step at a time. Yeah, I'm there with you. So, all right, Joe. Let's see it. What do you got for us?
Well, I'll show you the best one first. It's not, like I said, it's not big, but it's very cool. These are two perfect crystals that are attached. They grew together,
Oh, nice.
and they have every single point on them and no marks on them at all. So that's pretty good. I like that. And one has like, it looks like a little bit of iron oxide on it or something on the outside. It's like got a golden color to it. And we've got like a couple like this. Almost had 2 points, but it's still a pretty nice piece, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I got a whole bunch of others. So this one has a really nice one really nice point. I still have dirt on all over me because I literally just got home. But you can see how perfect that is at the top. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and then this one had a couple others keyed in. I just don't know which ones. So that was pretty cool. And then I have like a whole bunch of small ones. And so actually, this one's beautiful. This one's very, very clear.
Yeah, it is. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. It's like gemmy.
Yeah, what was the mine you went to, Joe? What was the name of it?
Mohawk Valley Mineral Mine. That's where I've been going. That's where I pulled this guy out, right? That's like a whole other world. It came from the same hole though, believe it or not. Like the hole that I was working last time got worked a little bit since I was there, but not a lot. So I put a ton of work into it today, and I didn't get to finish what I was hoping for, which is why I lost track of time. That I ended up late because it's getting darker out later. So I ended up sitting there digging, and I'm like, oh, the sun's still up. I mean, what is it, 5 o'clock at best or whatever? I was like, the guy next to me was like, yeah, how about like 5:45? I was like, I think I gotta get going.
Nice. Yeah, Joe is in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are Herkimers. They're all Herkimers. I mean, I previously found this one. I mean, this is like the quality of stuff that comes out if you get a smaller one. You can see how clear that is. It's absolutely absurd.
Oh yeah.
The beautiful quartz that comes out of that place. Unbelievable. Look at this one. Oh, this thing's got to weigh 5-6 pounds. I mean, it looks really white and stuff, but I mean, it is very clear. It's got rainbows all over it. I can't see what I'm doing. I'm like, where's my camera? I can't see my camera. It's invisible. Yeah, you can see how clear it is.
Yeah, it does look cool, dude.
Yeah, and this other one's got like, I cleaned it up a little bit since I showed it to you last. You could see how that's got like smoky phantom in it and stuff. Unfortunately, it's a little broken, but it still looks really, really cool.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Oh yeah, really, really nice. And in fact, I've been playing with the quartz and some lenses recently, and I discovered something absolutely phenomenal.
What's that?
Well, I started telling you about it.
Oh, you want me to show that?
Well, you can, but I mean, honestly, it's a terrible example. I was just doing it to show you, but yeah, go ahead, put it up so they have an idea, and I'll explain it.
So hold on a minute. Let me find the pictures you sent me.
Hmm.
I think you sent it to Sean and I. So let me look at it real quick. Because the pictures were awesome.
Yeah. Let's just say that it's high strangeness stuff. You know, there, some of it makes just total sense, but then there's another side of it that it's high strangeness, man.
Okay, there we go, Joe. So we'll start with this one. I believe this is the first one.
Yeah, so I took that the on my computer. I just pulled up that shitty Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe thing, just to like show an example because it's very colorful.
Yeah, look at that. You can start to see the yin and the yang forming on this thing, man.
Yeah, so that's a convex lens. I'm sorry, yeah, it's a convex lens one with a flat back. And the crystal sphere.
Yeah, look at that. One side, you can see it's like targeted, like the Rav would be, and then the other side is dark, just
Yeah,
like we normally see in something that Sean was showing us. This
yeah.
one is my favorite right here. So
Now
yeah,
and I hate to say it, even though it's cool looking in the pictures, this is the Pix No Justice thing, and I wasn't even able to capture the best of what I see because it's like there's no real good way to like do it that I figured out because I would need something to like hold and adjust the lens, so I could just adjust it and then when I get it right, take the photo.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but there's been no good way because you have to keep an alignment and something happens, um, where when it flips. So if you're familiar with, first of all, let's start off with the sphere. All right, so if you have a crystal sphere or a glass sphere, I guess, what this does is it flips the image that you're looking at upside down. You see me? I'm a projection upside down. So even though it's bright, it's not showing you the reflection. You see, I see you, right, or the phone, I should say. I see the phone right now, and then you see me, no phone, right? But I'm upside down. All right. So it's flipping the image upside down, not like a mirror inverted, just upside down. And if you take a convex lens, which is basically half of a sphere, or at least a portion of a half of a sphere, and you situate it behind it, what you end up with is a situation where you can, where it's flipping everything, and then you're able to adjust all the focal points. If you situate your point of view, being a camera or your eye or eyes, and you align the dead center of all these points, and then you align the focal points just right, what you end up being able to see is the convergence point. So there's a point in the middle of that sphere where it's taking in real time all the information 360 degrees in every single direction, and it's all converging in the dead center of it. Okay, and where it converges, if you're able to focus on that point, there's a point where it goes from right side up to upside down and it flips.
Hmm.
So by using the convex lens, you can actually observe by manipulating the focus the point where the image starts to break down, spread apart, distort, and then something very interesting happens. And it didn't really capture it in that Marilyn Monroe thing, which was one of the reasons I said it wasn't the best example. If you use like a regular photograph, though, it works and you get a light side and a dark side. Well, it's in this flipping process, and you have one that's the actual color, and then the flip side is flipped, but it's also photo negative. And the way that it goes is the whole entire pattern is dispersed around the surface of the convex lens and then swirling around, right, in those colors, because that's how it breaks it down when it's out of the focus point. And you have the dead center is in focus, and that's when you get the two holes. And what's weird is it's dynamic. And if you look through the hole and adjust it just right so you could see kind of into the hole, what you see is the whole of the image that it's a part. So you end up seeing the whole image. Very, very, very cool. Now, here's where it gets strange. If you use a camera, okay, it just does exactly what I told you. If you use your eye, and I can't explain this to you.
Okay.
If you use your eye, there becomes an attractive force that occurs that interlocks all three of the focal points together. And when you're holding the lens, you can literally feel the shifting and of the lens on your eye and sense like it shifting dynamically with the sphere. And I really can't explain it. And it's more than subtle. You know, it's more than subtle. It's very, very weird. It's very, very weird. And if you are holding both the sphere and the lens, this is how it's like, well, your eye might just be locked on that position and focus. So when you move it, you could feel like, you know, and trust me, I'm not ridiculous. Like, I understand that. So explain how when you hold the sphere and the disc, okay, how you could feel the relationship between the two.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? That doesn't happen immediately. Okay? It only happens when you observe the center point.
So you got to see it before it happens?
When you see it,
really?
Then it happens. Okay? And if you don't go too far out of focus with it, then it'll continue. As soon as you go too far out of focus, stop. Immediately.
Huh.
Super, super, super weird shit. I mean, it seems to be a form of entanglement because you have two central focal points where this cross dispersion happens, and they're all aligning, and then it's aligning with an observer effect, which should collapse a wave function. But there's it's in a state of in between point A and point B. So which does it collapse to? It becomes Schrodinger's cat. It's both upside down and right side up and right color, the correct color and inverted color simultaneously. And now you add the observer to it, and it's like trying to fucking collapse, but it doesn't know what to do. You see, it's strange, man. It's weird. It's literally Schrodinger's cat. It's so weird.
I'm going to show you a couple pictures Joe took. This was on the live about a week ago, I think it was.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yes, Joe is showing the light. Just so you understand this, in ancient Egypt, in the sand over there are plenty of pyramids where you see the ring around the top of the pyramid. And it should give you some understanding. Was it actually gold on the top of the pyramid or was it crystal? Personally, I think it might have been crystal. That's my personal opinion, though everybody else seems to think it's gold for the antenna effect. But crystal would make more sense, being that they like to focus light a lot in all of their examples that they give in the hieroglyphics. So just so we see this in the RAV all the time. You see the yellow and the same exact color yellow that we get out of the RAV. You see the rings around it on each one. You see the mirrored effect going on right here, and you see the little dot right there, like it's a satellite coming from it. You know, kind of like the same things we're seeing going on the RAV, but this is just pure light showing it, along with the outsides that are bursting out right and left.
Mhm.
Same thing we see completely in the RAV.
Yep, it definitely is.
That's so cool you were able to do that. I couldn't believe that when you did it. It was like I just thought it was the plasma that did it, but you're showing it was no, Nathan, was the light, that side of it that's doing it. So,
Well, it's because it works off of the same principle, and it works off of the same principle because it has to do with the diffusion and a central axis point where there's a relationship between the two with a point of convergence.
mhm.
Which is exactly what the RAV does. And as you can imagine it traveling through the crystal and it traveling through the air is also a resistance differential. So it's literally it's pretty much the same thing. Like at that point, as far as the configuration is concerned. So that's how you end up with the same exact types of geometries because the relationships are the same.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a couple other ones that other people probably haven't seen yet. You want to describe what was going on here?
Yeah, that's shining the light through a through the pyramid and then viewing it through the sphere.
That's so cool.
And then there's another one where it doubled.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that one up right now. There we go, right there.
Yeah. So if you flip the pyramid, it doubles.
So hold on, you just flipped it upside down? Is that what you did? Or right side up?
I'm from the bottom. So it's
Oh,
from a state of concentration to a state of diffusion.
huh. Yeah, it kind of reminds me. Remember, we're seeing Sheila doing those things on the oscilloscope where she showed the ratios, and this kind of reminds me of that the size of the ratio. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's so
Mhm.
cool. Because you know what? Hold on. You you just made okay. Let's see if I get this right. You made a bunch of geometrical patterns in light, which would be in line with mandalas. So when you see mandalas on there and you see shapes going on in there, if you understood it as light and how it refracted inside of something like this, that would make a ton of sense based on the exact geometry structures you're building.
Oh, so another cool thing that I tried with the convex lens, and I don't have a photo of it, nor would it photograph anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But um, if you use a crystal, okay, and you put it on like a black surface, let's just say, and you shine a light at the crystal, and then you view it through the convex lens with the convex lens facing upward toward you, okay, it will turn the crystal into a hologram. Okay, now I tried it with other things, and though it reflects through, it does not turn it into a hologram. So I figured, okay, maybe it just has to be transparent. So I used like a transparent cup and something like glass.
Hmm.
It was not a hologram. So I don't know what it is with a clear piece of crystal, but evidently convex lens crystal will project off of the surface of the convex lens.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool. I really like that.
Oh yeah. So okay, man, we got a ton of stuff that's going on here. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull up another one. Oh, I was on this one. Okay, there it is. We saw this from Sean.
Oh, right on.
You see right up top that black dot showing up on the reverse side.
Hmm. Oh, by the way, I was able to recreate the lens flare in the sphere also. That I could probably photograph, but I was using my flashlight for my camera, so I really couldn't photograph it. because
Hmm.
the weird thing about it is you can only view the lens flare from a third person perspective. You can't see it from the direction of the source.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Huh. There was something on this. I remember I took a snapshot of it. I'm looking for it right now. But it was showing that image, but in a very specific way. Sorry, this thing, as soon as I change my monitor, man, it changes the whole thing. I can't usually find anything. I guess I'll look for it later. Anyway, it was basically showing you in this one here that it on the dark side of it, when you have that dark bubble up there, it was focusing that one as well. So remember, you saw like the roundness, and then you see the little tip of the eyeball kind of thing when you see that rab. Just kind of like the purple is, how the green shows the tip of the eyeball, and then the pink shows the eyeball itself, right? It's kind of the same thing, but it was showing up in the black as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let me take this down. I bet you I sent it to one of you guys as well, because that one was really cool. Yeah, I did right here. Okay. See, there you go, Joe. So the black dot's on the bottom, but you can see it. It has a different color going around it, and there's a little circle in the center of it, and it's right at the bottom of the page.
Yep. I see that. Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's directly the exact same distance away from the pink one on the top with the green in the center. And
Mm-hmm.
you can see the rainbow on the side where the pink one is. And on the other side, it's in a different light spectrum altogether. You can't see it.
Yep.
So
And it's upside down.
yeah. Gee, it's totally epic the way that thing turned out, man.
That is pretty damn cool, I gotta say.
Oh, here we go. We'll
One
show
upside up, one upside down.
Sean. Sean got some awesome plasma going on in here. So we just kind of rifle through these, Joe. Say what you want. So, God, that's cool looking.
Yeah, Sean's been doing some like pretty cool alternative plasma experiments lately, which is pretty neat. Like, they're not necessarily RAB centric. I know that it's related to the RAB, and he's trying to make configurations, but he's just getting some really, really rad uh, results just playing with the plasma, trying to get the stuff set up.
Oh, yeah.
And the photo quality is so good.
Yeah, he got a RAV on that one. You see it?
Yeah, I see that. Not only do I see that, but look at the color of those plasmas. Do you know how difficult it is to reach those wavelengths? Like they're like a pseudo green, yellow, a pseudo yellow green. They actually talked about that recently. How there's like they made a color that you shouldn't be able to see, but you can. I think they called it like YOLO or some shit. I have no idea. It was something like that though.
Well, there's a certain couple ways to see things. Tonic water, soda water. Take the highlighter ink out of the thing and put it in with some water. You're going to be able to see different fields show up in the you know what I mean, through them. Well,
And
that
like those yellows and stuff like that. They had like a really difficult time remaking that wavelength for a laser. Like 'cause the only thing that was like that would usually put out that type of yellow is like a sodium lamp.
yeah,
Um, because most of the yellows that come out coherent fall into the green family or the orange family. Like um, that's as yellow as it gets, man. That's crazy.
oh yeah,
I guess it's a little in the red family, but it's pretty damn yellow.
yeah. John says it's right on. Bingo. Right on. Yeah, Sean sends a whole bunch of stuff. He says he's clearing out his computer. He puts a whole bunch of them, like 5 or 10 of them. And he goes, "Oh, I'm just going through my computer."
Hmm.
Cracks me up, man. Shows all kinds of cool stuff. Something that anybody who deals in plasma for fun would love to have. You know what I mean? Or love
Oh
to
yeah.
create.
Well,
I get.
I've been saving all this stuff for so long too. I had to start putting it on like Google Drive and stuff for myself because my phone is just completely out of storage. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. It gets that way, dude. I ruined my phone. Like the video on it does not work. So it clips on and off from all the high voltage experiments I do in my garage. So that one doesn't work. My ZVE10 man works great. That thing captures the image way cleaner. I'm trying to get a dark lens, man. I'm hoping, cross my fingers for my birthday, I'll be getting one.
cool.
So if it's that way, I could. It's a little more. How do I say it? Brings out the light better in the
Mhm.
dark. You know what I mean? When you put on that lens, you probably know more about it than I would. I watched the videos about 100 times trying to understand little things about cameras, which I have no idea about. But it was like a $400 lens I'm trying to get for this thing, just so I could see better.
Well, what's cool and something that you could do with even an inexpensive camera or even a just old smartphone that has a camera is you could take the IR and UV filter off, and that'll make it like a full spectrum camera because the sensor, it doesn't care what light spectrum you see. It's designed to pick up the entire light spectrum. So they have to put the UV and infrared filter on it. Then what you can actually do is you could put specific filters that'll block out any section of wavelength. You could put a set of filters on that block out the entire visible spectrum and exclusively have the sensor capture um, an image of stuff you can't see. So you could do cool stuff with that. Or, you could also use filters to just discriminate out certain colors, and it gives you a much better idea.
Yeah, Dennis says yes. He has a camera, uses an Android, and he got a lot of cool shots on his site, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he gets a slow motion, everything. So
Hmm.
those some of the best ones I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, Samsungs and Androids have pretty good picture and video in like their pro and like raw modes and stuff like that too. You know, and if you shoot in those modes, then you don't get the algorithmic corrections and stuff that the regular photo modes generally build into it. So
Hmm.
then you end up with a richer data set. It's more authentic to what the sensor actually picked up.
Huh. Yeah, I have to remember that, man. I Joe, I could barely get the camera set to work right in the first place. I have
Yeah,
no idea what those buttons do. I can't keep going back and going back to the original programming. It's just tell you how bad I am. If I don't see the little thing on there that tells me that the voice is working, I'm freaking out. But then I can never find the setting to fix it. And every time they say the right setting, there's another setting on top of that that could be the problem. So I'm completely lost. They should have made it for a dummy where you
yeah.
just point and shoot. That's me. That's my
Well,
type of
they have
camera.
cameras like that, but I mean, it's the thing is that something that they make for everybody to be okay with is never good. You know what I mean? If everybody, if it's good for everybody, it's good for nobody. Like that's kind of the thing. I mean, honestly, photography is one of those things that you could probably, watch a couple of YouTube videos in this day and age, and just like get a understanding of what some of the different settings are because there's really not too many of them. And then once you know that, I mean, it's pretty much, you don't have to be creative minded like me where I'm like, okay, what is this camera actually doing? what data is it capturing? How can I manipulate that data to show me other things that I want to see? You don't have to do any of that shit. Just learn to use ISO and shutter speed. It's really that simple.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, I'm getting there, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to show everybody if I could find it. Yeah, of course. It should be right here in front of me. Hold on. There we go. I found it. So, even though Joe's not totally into this project, he tells me all the time, I have to rebuild it, and I had to put solid plates in there. No wobbles, no messing around. Thick plates, get a nice sound from it, and a nice harmonic. And we got that mirror thing so we can see what it does. So I have my other gravity flyer put to the side. This is a new version of it, and it's already mostly built in there. All of it's nice, clean. It's all aluminum discs in there. And the only thing I got to do is put the magnets on the bottom and wire it. And this thing is ready to go. But we need some really good data to come off of it as far as finding harmonics. Basically teaching tools. How do you put the motors in harmonics? How do you get the beat frequency off of it? You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is take a yardstick and take some 3D paint, and all the little dashes in the yardstick, I'm going to hit them with 3D paint. So basically what it's going to do is I can put up a fluorescent light, and it's going to show me the distance in between them so I can get the beat frequency and start calculating distances in that. So when I get the beat frequencies of the motors, how do I line it up with the piezos, things like that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This thing should teach us a lot in, simple mechanics of things that we can use on other projects. So
I like the fact you got it not to wobble, because honestly, that other one was like a rickety piece of shit. That's not your fault. Like,
well, PC fans, if you ever take one and you just touch it on both sides, the way they set up is they will wobble.
Yeah,
There's
I
nothing really you could do about it. These are DC motors, so what I basically did on every one of these, they went through my CAD program. I basically printed out a template, put it right over top of it, and then marked the holes and drilled them exactly where the template said. You know what I mean? On everything. No messing around, no little slots, no anything. Perfect. So, yeah, like I said, this thing's way cleaner. You can see at the top, I love when I did this, Joe. I outlined it in black.
Mm-hmm. Looks
So it's
good.
just, it makes for a nice, clean look. And then because we found out what Sean was doing and how to get that the gases and the air to flow, the brush doesn't even hit the plate anymore. I would actually like to replace it with a brass ball at the end, like Sean had. So I've been looking into that, but I got these in there, and they just go straight down through the rod right there, connect in. That's pretty simple. You can see the big disc here, and the reason we have to do that is the little hockey puck in there is because of the voltage that gets on the disc. It'll go up into the motor and everything else, so you have to keep everything kind of separated in this. So you have to put things in there like that. Every one of these pieces of plastics has an inset in it, so it'll lock it in there. And again, the goal was no wobble. I haven't bolted them down yet, just because I was working on some stuff and the wiring and making little loops and stuff so they come off clean, nothing out of place. It looks more like something I would make. And then on the top, the piezo in there, we went with the barium titanate piezo, the nice one that we used in the Renegade circuit. So that one fit in there perfectly. So yeah, I mean, this thing's up and running, good to go. We locked all the bolts in, man. This thing's steady as can be.
I heard them talking the other day about the guys that they sent to the far side of the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking. I don't know how this came up, and or even the context. I was only half listening, but the part that I caught, I literally put my head on my hand. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. This is what they're discussing. They were talking about electric motors in space, okay, and how they have to do spark arresting, because of the oxygen, right? And then they were like, and then we realized that, but even a brush motor doesn't, the brush doesn't spark. Yeah, but, yeah, no kidding. When it's in the vacuum of space, if it's in the craft, it does. But when it's in the vacuum of space, no, it doesn't spark. And they were sitting there like, well, I mean, how come it does? It's like, are you serious or an now?
I don't think they quite understand the vacuum of space.
I don't think they understood a spark.
No,
they don't
not
understand
at all.
that's a plasma discharge. Plasma what? What material in the vacuum of space did you reach to a high level of excitation?
No, I mean, look, here's the thing. When you get out to space, there is water out there. There is,
Stuff. Yeah.
and then we're not talking a ton. I mean, that by no means is it a lake or something, but we're talking little molecules of water, little molecules of air, gases randomly.
There's not spark generally. Generally, there's
no, not for a spark. Okay, yeah, not for what they're thinking, but a lot of that stuff exists out there. It's just few and far between. And you see it on the space shuttles and stuff like that, man. When they go out there, they'll show condensation on the outside. They'll show that it's growing, some kind of weird stuff on the outside. So there is stuff out there, just so you know. It's not dead. It's not completely like they make it in the laboratory. It's a bit different, okay? I think they over-exaggerate what they're seeing.
Here was another one. Same interview. They mentioned thrusters. And this was interesting, actually, right? Because it makes sense. There's no such thing as a fuelless thrust. There's not. Even if you're using my cockamamie thrust where it's not thrust, right? At all, it's the environment working against you. It's still not fuelless in a sense because, you realize that the plasma has to be coming from somewhere, right? Material wise. And the material is coming from the material on your system. So your system is in a state of decomposition. Now, hopefully time dilation renders that pointless. But, who knows? Like at the end of the day. And that was a good point because the material of your system that runs your electromagnetism is actually somewhat sacrificial. Now, what do you know from RAV? Well, if you're able to capture and reconstruct the material and then have it, basically put it back into the system virtually, right? It can maybe even redeposit back where it came from. Maybe it could. Maybe it could. I bet you Bernie would say it could, because I've asked parallel questions and made parallel assumptions along those lines, and Bernie seems to think, like, for instance, about jar to jar, where do you get the deposition?
Oh, yeah.
Right? You get the deposition in the second jar. But how? Right? Well, yeah, right. You transferred material over the wire, right? From jar to jar.
Well, I think some of those are coming up, man, in what we're doing. So yeah. you may be seeing some of that.
That's a good one. Show that matter will electrically transfer from one place to another, because that's huge, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Because the implication of that is that you could actually teleport something. Throwing that one out there, that's the implication.
But by the way, transfermia would not be a thing if there was nothing in space. If it was the vacuum they thought it was, transfermia would never even be possible if that's what they think it is. So just kind of a heads up. It's like, I love it when you question something in physics and even AI lies for them.
Yeah.
You go, can you break the speed of light? And they go, no, you can't break the speed of light. E equals mc squared is the speed of light squared. How do you get to the speed of light squared if you can't break the speed of light? Well,
Well,
it's
I mean,
just
all you have to do is fall off the Planck scale, and then you break the speed
well,
of light.
yeah, but that's not what the equation says. It doesn't say go off the Planck scale. It doesn't say do this, do that. It basically is an abbreviated equation that's total bullshit.
Well, right,
And
because it's only three-dimensionally relevant because it's GR.
yeah, but they don't even put GR in there. They didn't put any of that in there. They go, well, it's basically meant to be this huge equation,
GR.
but it's not meant to be taken literally. It's like, well, what do you mean? But that's the way he wrote it literally. Why should I not take it literally? Anyway, I think it's hilarious.
Okay, so if time dilation exists, but the speed of light remains constant regardless of what it's traveling through, including time dilation fields where time is therefore experienced differently, but the measure of its actual speed is the same. What does that mean? All it means is that we know that light is not here while it's transient. So as soon as the emission occurs, it is everywhere that it's ever going to be instantly. And the fact is that the hour dimension has its restrictions, okay, as to how fast anything can occur or how slow anything can occur. So what we experience is the time passage because it's at the maximum speed that our dimensional tolerance at the top of the Planck scale allows for. That's why it's consistent no matter what the circumstance, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. Which simply means that it dips out of our dimension and is wherever it's going to be. And the only reason it is perceived as speed is a misnomer in the first place, because we're the ones catching up to it. And that's
Yeah.
what takes time. So it doesn't have a speed at all.
Well, it's a reflection. So yeah, it's already there.
It doesn't have a speed at all. Right. It's instantly already everywhere that it ever could be.
Yeah.
In all the possibilities, right? And we're just catching up with the fact that that occurred at our maximum speed, which is, restricted and confined by the Planck scale. That's it.
It's so reverse of the way normal people think about it, Joe.
Yep.
Because
Light has no speed. Tell that to a physicist. Watch them lose their mind. The speed of light. Light doesn't have a speed. You fucking idiot. You'd be like, oh my god, what are you talking about?
well, it's because they talk about waves and particles and then photons, and it's an effect after effect after effect, but they try to say it's all one thing. So of course they're all screwed up on it. I mean, yeah.
Right.
No,
if you measure light with like lumens, all right, let's just say, or whatever, however you want to measure light. Well, the sun is shining on Earth and you're in between the Earth and the sun, and you go to measure the lumens from the third perspective of in between the sun and the Earth, there's no lumens. What do you want me to tell you? Like,
it's like a cone into a cone, and then you hit the center point. Is that what you're talking about?
What I'm talking about is light is emitted, right? Let's say that there's nothing in between the sun and the Earth, for hypothetical things, okay? Well, if you were at point 3, where the sun and the Earth are here and you're here, right? And you were to measure in between the two, there's no light. See what I mean?
Gotcha.
You would not measure the luminosity of that light because that light is not luminous. Well, it's transient. And that's it. So where is it then? They're the ones that say that it's that everything has to be measurable in order for it to be empirical. So how are you gauging the speed then? If you can't even identify it when it's transient, how are you measuring the speed? It's like trying to measure the speed of a car, except the car never passed you, and you only saw it when it got to its destination. But because it got to its destination so fast, you accused them of speeding and wrote them a ticket. It's like what?
Gotcha.
It's like, give me the radar gun, bro. No, it's like, well, I never saw you. It's like, well, yeah, because I wasn't there. It's because I've always been home, ass.
Huh.
you know,
Oh,
I never crossed your path. Right. Exactly.
yeah. Well, that Rab said it. So it showed us how our solar system works. I saw it very clearly, man. It shot out a beam of light, hit the thing in the center, and then boom, it set the entire sphere that it made in that environment.
Hmm.
It already set the energy in that environment. It was already set to the maximum level of where it can hold the energy in still. And at that level, it was all the same. There's no changing it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you could get something that works like a photon, which would show where the spheres are inside of that, but that's about it. It's just a higher energy state that appeared where the sheath zone, the magnetic zone is. You know what I mean? That was it. It it already had it, and it was crazy because you realize when you get out there to our solar system, it already has it. It's not empty space at all. It's just something you can't see. The energy's always there. So I don't know, man.
I don't know either. It's like, and I hate to say this, but like with the way that they explain it, the way that they've defined it, and all that sort of stuff, it's like when someone's right but they're wrong at the same exact time.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're right, but like not for the right reason, right? It's I feel like this is what it is all the time. It's like, and that's why when I wrote my paper, right, I wasn't trying to change the formulas and equations, you see, like, or the theories, or the principles, I should say, right? I wasn't trying to change any of that because guess what? They're not wrong. They're just not right for the right reason, and they're missing a lot of parts. So the answer tends to be, well, what do you see? Okay, now, how does that play a role? Cool. Insert here now. And there you go. And it's crazy.
Well, okay. So why would you lose weight? So this goes down to gravity. Because I don't want to say this. You're dense in the environment that you're in, and you're in a sphere of energy right now inside of the gas structure of that part of the energy. So your density is set to that environment. But when you exit that environment, your density then appears different to the environment you're in. You did not change weight. You went to a different environmental medium. Say in space, it's different. On a different planet, it's different. Every medium's different that you get to.
Including the
That,
mediums on Earth, which is why you don't weigh the same in
like
water,
water. Yeah.
right? Which is why you don't weigh the same in water, and why oil floats on water, and why all these things separate like that. It's
Yes.
all it's the energy relationships, but then it's also a density differential that plays the role, right? Because that's what defines buoyancy. And if something's buoyant, then it's not being affected by gravity the same way. It's it's less than the threshold, right? And so that's what you have to realize is that when you fill a balloon with like hydrogen or helium, right? It's going to float off, no problem, because it's less dense than the air that surrounds it.
Yes.
And but that balloon can also only float up so far because it is still ultimately part of the gravitational equation. So it can't leave Earth's gravity under those circumstances without either a separation from its locality or a thrust force, right? It would need one of the two to overcome that last push out of the gravitational relationship because the relationship still exists. but it will seem to defy gravity because it's in the medium. The medium is air and it's lighter, so it goes.
So yeah, what? Here's the thing. When you think about it this way, you think about the ship in the water, and you create a bubble. It goes out. You go in gas. You create the bubble, and then it lifts. Okay, because we do it in hot air balloons all the time. Then we get out into space. You're going to create somewhat of the same effect. What's the difference? You went from a relatively low voltage reaction in water, you went to a high voltage reaction in air. Then you got to figure out what works in space, right? But then it gives you everything Joe was saying to do. You're going to take the sheet zones and you're going to propel off the sheet zones because now you are in that environment and you structured your fields around that environmental condition in order to make that happen. So it's the same effect inside the environment we're in now. We're in gas, but it would be the same environment in water. You're simply
Right.
going to construct your energy fields to match what's going on there. And then once you do, then you're going to get all the way you want to with any ship you want to. And what is it going to do? It's going to reduce the amount of energy needed to get there. Okay. Because you're using the environment to your advantage. Now, that doesn't help when you get outside of, say, the solar system and in between solar systems, stuff like that. You're going to need energy in those environments because who knows what's out there? Because we never figured it out. And then I'm
It's
sure there's
like
pockets
it's
of
possible
everything.
that these in between zones aren't even there. I'm dead serious. Like it's like
Well, yeah, that could be possible.
it's probably it might not even be there. Like the whole entire like it's this far away. Yeah, how about this? As soon as you leave gravitational field and then there's no matter around you in the immediate environment, why do you think that all they get is vacuum fluctuations in certain um in between zones? Because it only pops in and out of existence that entire fucking area.
Yeah.
like, like nothing is there for it to be manifest to exist. Everything that is going through it, so to speak, is in a transient energy state. So, you know, unless if something crosses into it, then technically it could be manifest, I suppose. But if you're not in it, right, then it's not manifest. So it just becomes weird, man. It's very strange.
Well, also because you realize, like with the Raven stuff, it'd be like the sun. You're still getting a mirrored effect. You're still in a bubble. So when you look at it, no matter what you do, you still have a cone that goes like this outside. So you get an eyeball formation at the top, but then again, you get to another solar system, you're doing the same thing. So do you really know the distance that's going on there? Because we're measuring it with some kind of a light, right? We're bouncing stuff off of things, trying to figure it out. We're basing our distance on what we think it is, and not what we know it is. And because they haven't figured out even a simple camera effect versus what's going on inside of, like a sun or high voltage or anything else, how can you trust how far something is away? It could be like Joe said, one solar system stacked on another one. We could be bubbles in like the center of an atom, a bubble, a bubble, a bubble, a bubble, a bubble, and we could be sitting here, playing around together just like that, and we wouldn't know it because we don't understand it that way.
Everything could, and there's also a possibility that everything that you observe in the night sky could simply be some form of reflection, refraction of simply us. You know, like and if you consider for a second that like let's say that it's higher dimensionally spherical, what's going on? It would build out like Nathan says in layers, a ring, like that. It
Yeah.
would, right? And the thing is that who's to tell at what geometric point in these higher dimensional geometries in the first place where anything really is? For instance, if we're in the middle of like a torus, right? Well, everything that we see maybe is outside the torus. It's not even in a time dilation zone. And then wouldn't that explain why it seems like something's moving closer and something's moving further? Because everything is passing over us like that. It
Yeah.
kind of redefines it, is like it's possible that a solar system or a galaxy or something like that is actually at the center of something specific. You know, maybe with other things too. I'm not saying that it's alone, right? But it's possible that the reason that it's trillions and billions and quadrillions is because, like, you know, it, it's not even in the same zone of these upper dimensional geometries that we're in. It may well be like in a totally fictitious state, like a state of probability, the same as they say, right? Which
Yeah.
is why you could look out there and see everything, right? They're like statistically everything exists because the number, right? So there you go. You know, you have everything that you're looking at is a probability. You know, potentially. I mean, it's one way to kind of look at it. And you know what? If you want to align science with some form of like religious belief, like Christian, Judeo-Christian religious beliefs, well, I mean, you know, for a long time, Christians only believed that it was kind of like us and the immediate surroundings, that we were the center and that was it, you know, and everything else is like the heavens. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
but what is heaven if not where everything's possible, right? So it becomes like interesting esoterically, I suppose. Obviously, that's esoteric. It's kind of traditional Christian belief.
Oh, I'm reading the comment right here. Air bomb effect. Scalar potentials are real. Yes, they are. Light appears to be a form of scalar effect that appears to travel through the medium because the dimensional asymmetry. I can't read that word. Try me.
Hold
Due to
on.
the vectors of travel.
Yep, that's dead on. I couldn't have said it better myself. It is absolutely in a scalar state because it's in a non-manifest collapse transient mode as far as three-dimensional observation is concerned, right? So it goes somewhere. Where does it go? It just goes to a higher dimensional plane that it's there, and then we're just playing catch up.
Oh, where was that? Give me a second. Sorry, I'm going to look some more stuff up for you, Joe. Oh, I'll
One
show
day
that
there's
one
going to be
thing.
like an infographic on this. It's going to be like in 2026 they figured out how light actually works, and it's going to be like, imagine you were running a marathon and the guy next to you is light. Well, as soon as the gun fires, light is already at the finish line. The speed of light is however the fuck long it takes you to realize that light is already at the finish line.
Yeah.
That's
All right, check this out, Joe. This is the one you liked.
yeah, no, this thing is so cool. I want is what I want. Although the games that I've been playing with these things is not all that dissimilar. But you can see those are like those are totally holographic. The way that they project. All it is they have colored windows on the corners. Takes in the light from those corners, and then you look at it, and then it's got mirrors.
Yeah. Dude, that's pretty sick. Let's show it one more time.
Really,
Yeah, there it is.
And that is the upper dimensional geometry. It's just all the same thing repeating, and what you see in a line is time. It's the same object, just with time passing.
Yeah. Oh man, you can trip out on that thing all day long.
All day.
Sorry. Playing with the buttons over here. Huh. Yeah. Hey, shout out Traveling Fools, man. We're going to be talking to a guy later today about some UFO stuff, man. Seems like a
Very
pretty
cool.
cool paranormal stuff, man. So that'll be tonight. So if you guys check that out on the Traveling Fools channel out there, man, totally epic, dude. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And I'm going to have to wrap it up by 9 tonight. So, I know I'm late, and then I'm driving, and then I'm this, and then I'm wrapping up. Yeah, I'm a shit show. What do you want from me?
It's all good, Joe. You're going mining, man. That's the important part.
Yeah. I'm considering going back tomorrow to finish what I started, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's you know what? I didn't take lunch. I didn't do anything. I was out there for like 9 hours, arm and
Wow.
hand. You know, I have blisters and hurts.
Yeah, dude, I can only imagine, man. You got to dig in that mud and everything else to get down there. So yeah.
Oh, and the rock. I mean, it's dull stone. So what's interesting about that is, like, dull stone is like a fine sandstone. It's almost like mudstone, right? But it's
Hmm.
actually impregnated with different crystals. So it's mostly a mixture of dolomite, which is like not a hard mineral, but it's a crystal mineral, right? So it's going to harden that mudstone up quite a bit. And then also silica, which, as we know, I mean, that's hard as hell. So, breaking this stuff is, you know, it's not always the easiest.
Yeah.
It's some tough stuff, especially in some spots where, like, when you're starting to get close to where there's going to be a piece of quartz, that silica stuff that that formed the quartz in the first place, it got up all into that stone too and hardened. So
Yeah.
it's tough, but it is a little brittle and it does like to chip and crack. So that's what you use to your advantage, because if you can get a crack in it, then usually you can get it to crack some more and then get it to move. So.
Yeah.
But I moved thousands of pounds of rock today, like as far as breaking it off the wall, and thousands of pounds.
Nice. Yeah, I just want to say this, guys, for anybody out there who's wondering if you ever wanted to come on the show, you don't always have to be on camera like we are. If you just want to sit and talk with us or something like that, you know what I mean, while we're doing the show, you guys just hit me up on my email. You know what I mean? Like I said, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like that.
that's cool.
We're all good with it. You know what I mean? We just care about the information, man. We like sorting information out,
Yeah.
showing things to each other. You know what I mean? Getting it out there in the
He's having
community.
Sinner on all the time, and Sinner was never on camera, and he's one of he's celebrity guest on the show.
Yes, Ace
Well,
Center's awesome, by the way. So I just want to throw that out there, man. Anybody ever wants to do anything like that, we're not trying to hold anybody to, anything like that.
right on.
Yeah, I gave her my email last time. If she wants to get on and chat sometime, I'd really like that. She has a lot of the same views you do, Joe, and a lot of the way things work. So
Cool.
I always like those conversations, man. Sometimes I get lost. So sometimes I get it. You know what I mean? Because I'm more on the building side, Joe's more on the other side. But it works out great that way.
Yeah. Well, like, just like, start read some like Carl Jung or something like that, and just like all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, the world. You get high on Jung.
Yeah, I think, what was it? He said, we've already done all this all before. We just have to remember. And I think that kind of comes true. And I always look at it like memory DNA. You know what I mean? Like if you structure water, it has a pattern to it, and each liquid transfer from parent to child has that
Mhm.
liquid transfer, and then you have all the memories inside your system. You just can't remember them. Like our mechanism to remember things is basically a smell, a touch, a feel, and then we can remember what's going on. But we're associating that in our brain right away. But if you're not looking to associate that something in a past life, you wouldn't know to look for it. But the sooner we can do that, the sooner that we can figure out the Akashic record's already inside of us. We don't need to pull it from anywhere else. We just need to find a way to
It doesn't
communicate
even.
this with the rest of us.
This is just a matter of unlocking your brain to the point where you're able to access those types of frequencies and stuff. And your brain to be able to process it, because the way that your brain is set up is to keep your right and left hemispheres totally separate. Lack of communication, so your subconscious, you're just unaware of your subconscious. And then you kind of have an ego mechanism in psychology, right? Where it's like it acts as a literal gatekeeper, to keep your conscious mind away and out of your subconscious, because your subconscious knows everything that's ever happened to you, and then has full access most of the time to all the the higher realms, provided that you're at least in a place where your frequencies are okay, and that's the thing. Like this is and this is why some people have intuition and things like that without knowing a thing about any of this. It's like if their frequencies are good and whatnot, they could kind of automatically bypass their ego a bit and be able to access those higher abilities. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Shout out Sean in the chat. You can buy a check on us, man.
God. Good stuff you got going on, dude. I love watching it.
Yeah, so hold on. You talk about the right and left side of the brain, and we did a show on this a while back.
It was a long time ago now, yeah.
Yeah, so here's the thing, though. Like, I can draw and stuff, right? So I have an artistic side, right? And then I have the logical side. And I guess I would say those are two different sides, may not be. But I do that. I play pool right-handed and left-handed. I bowl left-handed instead of right-handed, which I'm normally right-handed. None of this stuff right here has a problem in anything that I do.
Mhm.
I can use my left hand as well as I can use my right hand. And both sides of my brain seem to communicate very well with each other. I think that's what brings you partly to that higher consciousness level, because I don't have a break in between the two. They just bounce back and forth, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and when it comes to like higher plane stuff, it starts to become a little unusual because it is about a communication between the two. But it's also, you see, your logic part of your brain, it's also like a nuisance. Like, it fights the things that it doesn't know,
Oh,
even
yeah.
if there's communication. So, your one side could be saying, oh, wow, look at this. And it automatically will accept that as reality, right? Whereas your logical mind's like, you fucking kidding me? Like, this is total fiction. This is a dream. And that's sort of your defense mechanism from actually, because if you didn't have that defense mechanism, you would just be in outer space all the time and like you'd cease to exist, really. You'd probably be in an asylum.
I know some people that are close to not having that.
Well, I mean, that is what it is. I mean, the fact is that once you realize that this is the mechanism, you're able to achieve those things. I mean, you have to stay grounded in reality, like as far as how you operate. It's totally acceptable and okay to realize, like, hey, there's this, and this is real, and this operates with certain functions and principles and morals and things that will go whatever. And then there's like another side that you could actually integrate into this. While still realizing that if you allow that to dictate physical reality, that you're just literally a lunatic.
Yeah.
You have to at that point discern. They discernment. These are things that some people don't easily find. So why, like religious stuff even, like, so you see these preachers, religious nuts and shit like that, like they've just gone too far to one side and then they're just kooky.
Oh yeah, they can't see the reality in front of their face. It's like the guy told me.
Yeah.
Guy told me there's no time, no such thing as time. It's all pressure gradient, and it's like, well, how did you get the pressure over time? But it's too far. You're taking what they say literally instead of what they're intending for you to understand. They're trying to make a point about something, not literally say it's that. And I hope that's the way they say it, because if somebody says you're literally in the matrix, you're in trouble. If you say there's literally no time, well, you're in trouble. Okay. Some of this stuff.
I don't know. I think more and more people are kind of accepting the fact that whether or not it's the Matrix in sense of the movie or not, but like maybe like something not that far off. The time thing though is fucking absolutely ridiculous. You experience time. There's mechanism for it, and you know what I mean. Like, There is time here in 3D reality because of the pressure gradient, by the way. So that's a perfect example of somebody being right for the wrong reason. Right.
Well, okay, so you say the matrix. So because the universe has mathematical precision, which is not in algebra, by the way, it's in geometry. Um, because it has that, it would seem like a matrix, unless you're saying like the Y files did today, where they say we're on a prison planet, like Eighth Sinner tells us, okay, and that we don't realize that we're all here and we all did something wrong in the galactic empire somewhere, and that we're all a bunch of rejects for some reason,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? We tried to overthrow something, so we're all here. We tried to give information to society that shouldn't have it. Who knows why we would do it? But I mean, I guess unless you think like that, but I think a lot of people say that one.
Yeah.
I just think we're just in a mathematical equation that is the universe, which changes based on the environmental condition of what we're in, and that's it.
Agree.
So.
Right on.
But it would be really cool if the moon turned out to be a base. That would be awesome. I mean, I'm sorry, that'd be really cool. I mean, that would suck that there's aliens out there that are so far way ahead of us that they have a base like that. But it would be really cool that it was a base.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's cool. Who knows? You never get the straight dope from NASA.
Yeah. Oh no, what was that? We're all worried about the Van Allen belt, and it wasn't even mentioned in the whole NASA thing that they just did around the moon, by the way. So apparently we can putt around the moon in 8 days or whatever it took them, but we couldn't figure it out for 50, 60 years because the Van Allen belt was turned out to be total BS.
Right,
I
despite
mean,
having figured it out 50 years prior.
yeah, that it wasn't a factor because as soon as you get into plasma physics, you understand that that's a non-factor. It wasn't a factor in the beginning.
It's like, oh, we knew it one time, but we don't know this anymore. Okay.
No, I like that one too. Yeah, he says the moon was a remote base for remote viewers. I heard that one too. They got a lot of cool concepts out there, man. Or you can join the intergalactic force, and they'll put you back in your bed after they probe you for a couple times, and you went around and did all this stuff, and then you return to your age.
I heard they mostly want women for interspecies breeding. That's the
Oh,
latest and greatest. You've heard this one? I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. Like they come out with all this shit that they say, and then you just wonder, it's like, when are you gonna just stop with all this nonsense that you say and just outright tell us what's what?
yeah,
And just be done. Because the things that you're coming out with and saying, like, if this is supposed to soften us up, then imagine what's true.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, imagine what's true. Like, I'm serious. Like, if this is supposed to be like the soft, oh yeah, there's they kidnap women. They have breeding programs. Soft disclosure.
you know what? I think I can handle pretty pretty much everything, Joe, except for one thing. Do you remember in Living Colors when they did the butt heads, and their foreheads were literally butts? I don't think I can handle that because I would laugh too much. Okay, I don't think I'd ever stop laughing. You know what I mean? I think that would be the only thing. But other than that, I think I could pretty much handle any kind of alien out there that they threw at us.
Yeah. Even the kid from the System of a Down music video, from Area, like that was a weird looking kid. Saying life is a waterfall. One
They,
want to get after the fall.
they're gonna capture Joe and put him in a breeding program.
Oh yeah, that's what the world needs. A whole bunch of memes. I feel sorry for all of you.
Oh, he's the new template for every spirit that comes down. That's
You know how much,
oh,
you know how much divorce there would be?
Well, it's a breeding program. You don't have to worry about divorce.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Oh, a whole bunch of Joes. That's right, Crypto. That's hilarious.
Well, then you get to sit there and be like, do I really have to do this insemination thing into the cup? Like, can I work it out al natural? And then it's like, I mean, if you want to, it's like, all right, bring in the alien. And it's just like, all right, fuck, give me the cup.
Oh my God, they're like giant squids.
Yeah,
Joe's on them out on that one.
I was gonna say like a lizard octopus. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like
oh,
it shoots like green and purple like fucking liquid all over the place when it gets excited. I was like, oh, it smells like Hillary Clinton.
oh no. Oh, you went there. Oh, that's funny.
No, at least I didn't say Bill.
Oh yeah. Well, Bill would have been in the program.
Bill, you know what Bill smells like? Bill smells like CVS perfume, like the one that smells like gummy bears from all the young girls he met. Anyway, I digress.
Oh no. Oh, that's funny.
Good old Slick Willie over there.
Oh, gotta have a good time, man. It feels good to laugh, Joe. It's been such a god awful week.
Yeah, man, that's it. It's sometimes things suck, and then you gotta just turn it around, suck it up, and turn it around.
Oh, clones are never exactly as original.
Yeah, they said that recently too, didn't they?
What was that movie, Multiplicity, where he cloned himself like 4 or 5 times, but then the cloned himself, and it made the really dumb version of him. Oh, those dimensional personalities.
So we actually touched on this the other day. See, the man gives the life force energy, right? That's why the swimmers swim and they move and they live and they die, right? And the woman, well, they don't give life at all. And their contribution to it is really not alive, at all. Oh, and even though they won't say it and they try to avoid saying it, right? It's the sperm that splits, in cell division, but it's the woman and her genetic contribution to that splitting, okay, that actually structures what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't really, I mean, as soon as you put that egg in, it's got to be in an egg. You can't just take the DNA and be like, and then whatever, and then it all changes. It's like the woman part of it is still going to structure it somewhat in its own manner. Like that's because that's what it's programmed to do.
Yeah. Huh. Mini Joes.
I've already got multiple of those. There's already multiple mini Joes running around.
Yeah, that would be the greatest Star Trek episode if I ever came back and did one.
All
Mini Joe.
Hundreds of mini Joes running around. A planet of memes.
The planet of Joes. That would be amazing.
The memes and the girl memes. They all have beards and bad haircuts.
You gotta have octopus wives. Oh,
you know what's funny? To have the octopus wife sitting on the couch and be like, "Hon, can you what?" I'd be like, "Yeah, big fucking arms." You know what I mean? Don't you see him doing something? Yeah, I need arms.
Oh man, that's so epic.
Yeah. Awesome. Should do it.
Oh, nobody has a beef with Gerald anymore, man. That's all squashed. We're all good.
There's no beef anywhere. It is what it is.
Yep. We're all good, man. All playing in the neighborhood. So
And you just got to remember, I think everybody's wrong, including myself. That's
there you
important.
go. That's a good way to see
I
it.
can admit it. I know I'm an idiot. And, you know, it is what it is. I come
Oh
up with some
man,
good shit sometimes, though. I pull it all square out of my ass.
here we go. Oh, energy loss. Do you really have energy loss? So you have transfer of energy, but you don't necessarily have energy loss because you can't destroy it. You can only transfer it to another form. So we're just stupid in the fact the way that we build things because we're not taking advantage of the other forms of energy. We put off heat. We don't take advantage of the heat. We let it, go away. You know what I mean? We're pulling energy in from the environment in the first place. What are we actually using out of it? Maybe half. So yeah, we're just not very smart about how we're doing things and doing the energy.
So it's
So
funny because my part of my paper and my theory is that whenever you take matter, okay, and you bring it into the highest state of excitation for whatever it is, okay, it actually brings that matter back dimensionally. You know, that's part of the exchange. Okay. And the reason you don't see a loss is because it expels the energy that brought the matter back, and the signature that it expels is a thermal signature, which
mm,
then goes into a state of diffusion. So when you're a physicist and you're sitting there going, conservation, conservation, and they're not wrong. You see, they're not wrong, but they're like, but so it can't leave then because it's conserved. It's like, no, you're seeing a signature of something that disappeared. There you go. So it's like, okay, so you see the thermal, but where's the fucking hydrogen? You know, that or whatever. You see? It's,
yeah, I don't know about that whole conserved energy thing. I'm still on the fence about that one. I don't know if they're given the right definition of what they're trying to say to make that right.
mm,
At least the ones I've seen.
I don't know.
But then
Energy's
again,
definitely conserved. It just, you know, the thing is that like they also say that you can't reverse entropy, and well, I mean, I think Rav says otherwise.
oh yes, you can.
Why
Yes, you can. You can reverse entropy for
did I
sure.
say that? Well, Rav says otherwise.
Yeah, no getting around that. Spooky distance. Yeah, no, that's what they say, but it's really not. Not not when you start to see things turn on across the room, man, and all you did was match frequencies. That tells you a little bit more about what's going on. You think that there's no line to that other item, but there is, and you just don't understand it well enough. You know, that's all it is. That it created a vortex. You're able to contact the vortex inside the vortex you have for the coil. They intertwine in the air, and they're able to cross the energy between them. All it takes is time because the time is the pressure wave that pushes out like scalar that continues to build. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look linked because you can't see it, but once you see it and you understand why it's doing it, that's not spooky at all.
Right. And just think about it, right? It's the pressure wave time, right? So if you think about it from the perspective that I try to frame it, that's the same as the exchange rate with resistance in relationship with matter. And as we all know, the resistance that something meets, right, which is a differential, uh, is ultimately deterministic of the pressure.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it. Well,
It's no different than choking, choking something from a large diameter down to a small diameter. Well, you get less stuff moving much faster, right?
yeah,
Why
you
less
tend to.
stuff? Because see, mass is the key to what the time experience is. Because if you have a lot of energy coming in, there's also a lot of resistance.
Well, they'll. Here's the thing: you have a lot of physicists out there that don't ever see the answer because they can't get out of algebra. You know what I mean, or whatever they want to call the high fluting version they use. You know what I mean? When they stop figuring out that things do not equal each other in the way that you do, then you're going to start figuring out that the answer is geometrical. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And not to say that you can't use some types of algebra, stuff like that, but all the things they put in there, man, you're better off in a different way altogether to get away from that stuff and get to the real examples. I mean, they give the most poor examples of how energy flows, and as soon as you get into a laboratory, you find out energy don't flow like that. You made that up. It doesn't flow like that at all. So, I mean, that's the harsh reality right there. They keep telling you, oh no, here it is, here it is, here it is. This is how this works, and then you get in the lab, it doesn't work at all.
Yep.
Doesn't work at all.
It's all done by a coupling, matter coupling. That's what it is.
Really, what it is. I find it funny. It's like they showed on Ancient Aliens. They go over to that granite and they start tapping it, and they say, "Oh man, it makes sounds like a drum, right?" You see that episode?
No,
you see the guy
I've seen enough.
He's taking the pillars of a temple and he's tapping them, and it sounds like a drum, right? And they don't know how it's done. But then you go over and you go to a rock that was hit by lightning, and in the position that it's in, it pings, okay? Or makes different sounds in it, right? Well, what happened? The lightning hit it and reset how it was shaped in inside like it was a magnet. It basically hit the magnet and switched how the magnet was set, right? It's the same concept. Yeah. But then you remove it from the environment it's in, it no longer has the condition set under it to create the other side of it. So now you're separating it, just like a magnet, doesn't work properly, and that ping's gone, right? Mm-hmm. But that's all you're doing. So when they did that temple, something hit it with high voltage, okay? You knew that at some point that thing got hit with high voltage and changed that pillar. But when you cut it apart, it'll be the exact same way that it should look on the inside that any other pillar looks like, but the actual signature of it's different because of the energy that was put through it and separated it. It's an interesting concept, and it's 100% true.
Yeah, and I mean also, like, you know, what was it? Petroglyphs that they found that on the Aztec temples, you know, it depicted the natives having very bad diarrhea, and ancient alien theorists think that aliens might be responsible. So
aliens and diarrhea, is that what you just said?
Yeah. They got Montezuma's revenge, you know, because he was Montezuma was getting his revenge by anally probing the Aztecs, giving them diarrhea. So the ancient alien theorists think that might be the case. You know?
Ancient aliens agrees.
Fucking Dust Papadopoulos over there, the Greek guy with his hair, whatever his name is.
Oh,
I know that's not his name, but that just seemed like a really stereotypical Greek name.
Oh, I love that when they talk about the Aztecs, they talk about the rocket. You do know that thing more looks like a submarine in all the valves they have in there than a rocket.
Yeah, it does.
Which makes sense when you go to the Greek traditions and you see it on their hieroglyph things over there, and they show the fishermen like they came from the water. It's just funny how it should match, and they go, no, it's a rocket, dude. It's not a rocket. Nothing needs to be a rocket. It could just be underwater. You know what I mean? They're trying to tell you something about how the Earth works and where things are, and you're not listening.
Yep, that's it. All right. With that said, I stayed an extra almost half an hour or so.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna bid my adieus for this week, but hopefully I will. I'm sure that I'll have a full week with you guys next week at an earlier time.
Huh. Right on, guys. I want to thank everybody in the chat today for hanging out with us, man. You guys have been really awesome, man. It's been a fun show. I really do appreciate it, guys. I needed the great laugh today. So thank you very much. So, right on, brother. Thanks, Joe.
Anytime.
The old man real. The old man real. The old man real. The old man builds. The old man builds is broken in the head. People not seeing reality has put them in the red. Where conscious and spirituality was stricken from the norm and replaced with the ignorance of basic magnetic form. The geometry of God keeps running through his head. That's what makes old man builds broken in the head. The old man builds. destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. The old man builds. Fears of destiny are spinning in his mind, making him travel back and forth in time, battling the establishment for just a little recognition. Has him forcing the world to understand his premonition. That world will have all the technology in the end, even if it means his life will fail to extend. The old man builds.